Thank you for joining us wherever you are. This podcast episode is brought to you by the Old Ways Actual Play team. This actual play uses the 7th edition Call of Cthulhu tabletop role-playing game rules by Chaosium. This actual play is performed by adults and in an adult setting. While we try very hard to stick to language for all ages, listeners should know that this podcast may include mature themes. All content, including names, places, events, companies, and etc., that may bear resemblance to entities living or dead, is strictly coincidental. My name is Michael Diamond, and for tonight's game, I will be your keeper. Thank you for joining us again on another episode of the Old Ways podcast. I welcome you into the finale series of our Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign. At the top of the show, we'd like to thank you, the listener, and especially you, the Patreon supporter. If you've not had a chance to check out what we offer on Patreon, you can at patreon.com/theoldwayspodcast. Jump over and subscribe on YouTube to see all sorts of our bits and bobs of fun and live events. And I suppose then, without further ado, we will get to introductions, which begin to my right.
This is Tiffany, and I play Maeve O'Shea, and I'm going to cut a bitch.
Indeed you are. And to Miss O'Shea's right.
This is Morgan. I play Lillian Lane. I don't have anything witty to say. I just really want to thank all of our listeners for the last 4+ years and whoever the Patreon is that saved my butt month after month.
Yeah, I'm not going to reveal that. They wouldn't like that. At the end of the table.
This is Jake. I'm playing Jack Doyle, and it's down to the wire. It's us or them.
It really is us or, well, I probably shouldn't say us in that sentence. You or them. That I'm simply a neutral party, an arbiter for this story. And to Jack's right.
This is Lonnie, and I play Robert Drummond, and I am currently being played by Keeper Michael.
That's true. At least in a little bit sort of a way. I'm certain that you'll be inspired to take whatever actions come next. To Mr. Drummond's right.
Hi, this is James, and I'll be playing Dr. Sigmund Tattenbach, and somehow I believe that regardless of the outcome, I will still be in all of your dreams.
That's kind of creepy, Doctor. And last but most certainly not least.
This is Alex playing Saint-Laurent, who's not prepared. We're just not prepared.
I understand. So, we rejoin our masks investigators in a realm which does not exist. But inside that realm, something terrifying has taken place. The spawn, not really a birth, mind you, but the spawning of something terrible and terrifying has arrived. The Priestess Moreau and her captive, Hypatia Masters, was forced to serve one final time. And this terrifying remnant of ancient magic now stands before the group. Large, lobster-like claws, an enormous tongue that whips around as if it's a head, the single eye which tried to burn several party members, and a disjointed and ugly body that supports it, massive, muscular, and bulky. On the dais, locked in combat, the priestess prepares to face off against multiple foes. Swinging from above, soon into our camera frame, Sam's spell is about to land. Before any of that happens, though, we're going to have a luck refresh, the last one of the campaign. And so I'll turn to Tiffany, who plays Maeve O'Shea, and ask her to roll luck for me.
10 out of 35.
Okay. You can have 11 points of luck. Morgan, who plays Lillian Lane.
I got a 9 out of 25.
Oh, fantastic. So you can take 14 points of luck.
Wonderful.
Jake, who plays Jack Doyle.
81 out of 9? Yep.
Yeah. So you're going to get 2d10 and then the bonus luck that comes with that wonderful luck feat. So 9, 15, you can take 18 points of luck.
Damn it. Okay.
Was that not enough?
Not quite, no.
Sorry to hear that.
Short.
No, 3.
Lonnie, who plays Mr. Drummond. Robert Drummond.
That's an 18 out of 1.
Lonnie, I'm going to give Mr. Drummond 21 points of luck.
Ooh.
Doctor, as played by James.
All right. Hey, 18 over 18 or on 18. I have 18 luck and I rolled an 18.
So that's a success.
Yeah.
Boy, that's just tough.
Spend
I
a
know,
luck to make it a failure.
Right. Can I
No.
spend a luck to make it a failure? Well, no, because it would be.
No, you cannot. So go ahead and take 14 points of luck.
I will gladly do so.
And then finally, Sam, as played by Alex.
Yeah, let me first roll with my new dice from Odd Duck Dice.
You should do that.
That is a 64 out of 53.
Okay. So you can take 12 points of luck.
Thank you.
And there we are. So we're going to keep the same initiative. We return back as the combat music swells in the background. We return back to combat. And I believe, since Lillian is going to be using her knife to make her point, that is going to drop our initiative to you, Jack.
I'm not going to be shooting either, so
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I got a plan.
I like that. I like that you have a plan. So, I don't think anybody goes before Lillian does. So, Morgan, what will Lillian be doing? She managed to tuck and roll in a very amazingly acrobatic fashion. And with the help of a little hand of fate, she made it past the creature. And now she has within her movement the ability to get to the priestess and perhaps make her point.
Yep, I will use my movement to run up to the dais and try to slice the priestess with my curved blade across the neck
Okay.
or throat. Whatever comes first. And so that would be fighting brawl.
It would be. And she will defend with fighting brawl as well.
Get a 12 out of 49.
Okay. So that's a hard success. She attempts to parry and fails. So roll damage.
I get a 3.
Okay. So normally I might say the next investigator can go, but really, truly, Robert, you have a job to do.
I do.
And the person who is one of your, as we described last game, one of the green spaces on your HUD UI, new green icons on your HUD UI, one of the friendlies in the room has been attacked viciously by this upstart young woman. You're going to have to fix that.
Yeah, I will fix that.
That's where it gets you back.
Dude, if you kill me, I probably deserve it.
So please explain, before you roll dice, please explain what you're doing.
Well, I have a sword.
Yep.
It is sharp.
It's
It
a
is
panga.
pointy.
Yep.
It is panga. And I am going to panga her right between the ribs.
Not to panga her, but you're going to panga her.
I
Very
did.
good. The panga, the curved blade that has the 2 teeth on the end of it. So this is a fighting brawl roll for you, Mr. Drummond, and then
I might want to dodge.
either a dodge or a fight back, your choice.
That is a 40 out of 31.
Do I need to dodge?
Yeah, because I'm going to spend a hand of fate and I'm going to make that a success.
Oh, I don't have enough luck in the world to do that. I got an 82 out of 45.
Okay, so roll damage, Robert. 1d8 plus any strength bonus.
No strength bonus, sadly.
Sadly.
But I rolled a 1.
Oh, okay.
Wonderful.
So this is exceedingly shocking for you, Miss Lane, because you're already not in your right mind. And you stab out at this priestess and you cut into her and you get ready and you pull the blade back to make the next strike. And out of the right side, out of the corner of your vision, metal, this glint flashes and you feel your bicep get ripped open. And standing within, a few feet of you is a red-eyed Robert Drummond who is desperate to find a way to kill you.
I turn and look at him. Robert, what are you doing?
Fantastic. So on 80, that was Mr. Drummond, and now the priestess gets her turn. She'll step back just a half step and whip the panga around that she has in her hand and try to cut your throat, Lillian. So if you're going to dodge or fight back, your choice, but you'll have to let me know. That attack will hit.
All right. So I will dodge. I got a 3 out of 45.
Okay, very good. So not only do you have a success, but your level of success beats the hard success that she has to attack you. So with your extreme, you duck out of the way. Okay. So that will land to 75, which is Sam's action. And that will complete the spell casting. And now we can get the rest of that spell unloaded.
I yell down at Muru that Bast will drink your sight like warm milk from your eye sockets. And then I scream a secret name of Bast at her face.
Okay.
And I get to make a power roll.
You do. It's opposed POW, yeah?
It's opposed.
Okay.
So I got a 40 out of 45.
So I rolled a 3.
Okay. The 3 is the extreme for them, I'm guessing, right?
Yes. it is.
Okay. So I could just spend 31 luck and make mine an extreme as well.
It could.
Does that mean it succeeds or does that mean it fails?
So I'll make you a Faustian bargain.
Oh, goodness me. I'm loving this.
If you're willing to spend the luck all the way down to get below her roll, so you'll have to spend to get to 2, right? I'll say that the roll, the total, if you spend the luck, if you're willing to get all the way down to 2, I'll play a hand of fate for you and I'll make it succeed.
So I have to spend down to 2.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
All right. So
Life's
that
about
would
choices.
be 38. Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay. So go ahead and read us the effect of the blindness spell.
If successful, the target loses 1d10 sanity. Well, I lose 1d8, by the way.
You do. I'll roll that now. You got tons of sanity left. No problem. Lose 7 points of sanity.
Ow!
And now you'll make an intelligence test.
I'll make an intelligence roll now. Right?
Yes.
That is an 81 out of 65.
Only roll in the game you want to fail. So you don't bout, which is great. But you do lose sanity. And the reason why you lose sanity is this scream that comes out of you, the secret name of Bast. The reason why you lose sanity is because her eyes burn away like hot coals in a fire. They burn out of her skull. They melt like runny eggs down her face. And the only thing that is left there behind her eyes is a mass of swirling tiny tentacles that leak out of her face. So that was 75. And that means that, Miss O'Shea, it's your turn. So are you going to go and stab somebody?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm going to try and cut her. That is 21 out of 55.
Okay. I'm going to give it to the player. So I'm going to give you advantage on that roll. So if you want to re-roll your 10s, because she's blind and she can't effectively fight in melee. Fighting him when you're in melee when you're blind is exceedingly hard.
No,
Okay.
it was a 21.
It's either a bonus for you or it's a negative for her.
Mhm.
So it still hits. So you can roll damage.
7.
Ooh, okay. Stab her. She howls in pain at being cut. And that means that Jack is on 60.
Okay, so I pretty much at this point have the undivided attention of this guy, right? This thing.
Yeah, I was going to say Guy is kind of a stretch.
Right.
Yeah, I would say you have the undivided attention of this thing.
Okay, first I'm going to soliloquize and yell out, kill that witch and get to the entrance. I got a plan for Ugly.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bolt for one of the nearest pillars.
Okay. You bolt.
Right. Hopefully he follows me.
I mean, are you sure about that sentence?
Well, I'm going to try to get behind that pillar.
Okay. What's your move rate?
8.
I think you can do that. Oh, his move is 9. Fantastic. So I'll say that you have the ability to move and get behind the pillar. You'll have cover from any incoming attacks, which will be helpful because
He's launching one.
he will eventually launch one. Yeah. Doctor on 55. So I'll give you just this slight understanding.
Yes.
The surgeon's in control.
Absolutely.
He's going to make very specific decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to play the surgeon.
Absolutely.
So what is the surgeon doing?
Well, the first thing is the surgeon is going to, he was called here for a purpose, and he's, as he always is. So let's perform, I think it's time we perform the first step of the operation. We must head this tumor off at the pass. And he looks to the priestess lady.
Okay.
The surgeon is quite adept at removing parts of people that shouldn't be or are not quite right. So he's going to remove all of the faith from this woman, forcefully, surgically.
So I'm going to say that it's POW versus POW,
Absolutely.
and you're essentially going to trade, eventually trade magic points for damage.
Yep.
Okay.
It is a 65. I rolled a 64, but I always have advantage on POW rolls, so 33.
Okay. She has a successful POW roll even after her POW was lowered.
Okay.
But you have a hard success on your POW, and so you will win that contest. This is the way the math will work. How many magic points do you have left?
I have 13 currently.
Okay. You have the ability to convert at a 2-for-1 ratio, MP, right?
Right.
To damage. So if you want to dump 13 points of magic, you can and deal 6 damage.
I'm going to do 10 points of magic and do 5.
Okay.
Yep.
And just remember, when you get to 0 MP, you pass out.
That's exactly right. I'm leaving myself, as they say in the business of giving blood, I'm leaving myself enough to get home. So,
How medical of you.
yeah.
Okay. You see, like in the patient's cranium, there is a swirling mass of what is effectively a cancerous tumor. And it is beginning to leak out her eyes. And so you use those long surgeon fingers, the black gloved fingers, to begin ripping at the masses inside that skull. And for those of you locked in melee combat with her, the priestess grabs her head and it looks like she's trying to crack her own skull open. It's not a reaction to a physical wound at all. Something is destroying her from the inside out. So some things are going to happen now because we're going to get to 50. And the spawn goes on 50. You know what? What's your persuade?
My persuade?
Yeah.
40.
I feel like the roll should be yours. It should be on you, not me. So roll persuade to see if you were able to coax this thing over.
27.
Good enough. You get your wish. It follows you. The monstrous creature bounds over. It's going to attempt to crush you. And in doing so, it is going to swing and you'll get cover.
I choose to dodge.
That's probably a really smart play by you.
That'll be 16 under 89.
Okay. You amazingly might, you don't get hit. Which is pretty astonishing given the number of build dice I have. It swings really hard and you hit the deck when that swing comes in. Its claw does sweep in and hammer the side of the pillar. And in doing so, it's going to deal a certain number of damage to the pillar. Okay. That pillar cracks and begins to buckle.
Good.
And then, Jack, it's going to eye-ray you.
Oh, good. I have to dodge again.
You do.
Ooh, 9.
It starts the stone on fire. The chamber begins to destabilize.
Which was my goal all along.
Yeah, the question is, can you get out?
Well,
All right. So we'll go to the top of the round, and that's Lillian.
Get her, Lillian.
Am I close enough to still?
Yeah, she hasn't moved.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing that's happened since the last round is that,
Now she's like clawing at her head.
well, yeah, and her eyes burned out of her skull.
other than that,
Well, other than that, and I moved away because Robert slashed at me, but I'm still close enough to her to
Yeah, you're still within range of with both your movement and your weapon to be able to stab her.
reach out and fucking stab her again.
Do
Like,
it. So you're at advantage for this roll because she's blind.
Okay.
So you get to re-roll your 10s die.
Which is great that I get to re-roll it. Just letting you know. Got a 47 out of 45. I will spend luck. So I'll spend it down to 23.
Okay, so you're going to make it a hard success.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to give her a dodge roll because she knows people are trying to kill her. So she fumbles her dodge roll.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to make your attack an impale based off of her fumble.
Like she like tripped and fell on your sword.
My damage then for an impale.
The impale is full damage
Mhm.
and then rolled damage.
I got a 1.
Okay. We know you don't have any strength bonus, but that's 9. Robert, it's your action.
I shall slit her weazened.
Wait, you're coming for me again?
Of course.
I thought that only lasted a round.
Yeah,
What?
technically dominate only lasts a round.
Oh, does it? Oh,
Yeah.
so I snap out of it?
You do snap out
Oh,
of it.
thank God.
By the way, you snap out of it with the realization that you attacked a friend.
Then I'm going to stab the person who made me do that.
It's reasonable. You're at advantage.
13 out of 31. I will spend 5 luck to make that a extreme success.
Okay, so just so you're aware,
I won't get an impale,
you're correct. There's no
Right.
functional damage bonus for
but
it.
I want to make sure that she has to roll an extreme to dodge.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Okay, so she rolled. That's not an extreme for her. So it's a hard success for her, but it's not an extreme. So go ahead and roll damage. And any potential damage bonus you might have.
So 3 points.
Okay. And now it's her action. So on her action, she is going to invest 15 magic points. And she is going to do some fuckery, as we say. For each point of magic invested, it yields 2d10 strength of force. Strength of 195. She screams and slams her fist into the ground. She hits the ground with a wave of energy. And as the wave of energy hits the ground, it creates an enormous ripple. Like a wave. And so I'm going to ask anyone who is within a 30-foot range of her to make a constitution roll.
Is this a POW roll for me, or is this a con roll for me? As I am ethereal.
I don't know that you're within 30 feet.
Well, his spectral form, as he were.
He's in the dreamlands. He's not
okay.
affected. What you got, babe?
19 out of 50.
Okay. Million?
71 out of 60.
Fantastic. Jack, you don't have to roll. Mr. Drummond?
85 out of 95.
Okay. And Sam?
60 out of 62.
Okay. So for those of you who passed, you are knocked flat, so knocked down. For those of you who failed, you are knocked unconscious.
Oh.
And that is going to leave us to Sam on 75.
So I'm grounded now, right?
Effectively, yeah, you're grounded. So I want you to think of it like an enormous bomb goes off at ground zero, and it rips up all of this space within the cavern by the dais. The dais is shattered. The ground around it is shattered. And it's like, imagine fancy stonework being made into pebble like gravel instantly. You hear the thunderclap as it goes off.
Well, I will climb to my feet, and can I make it to Muru?
Probably not. Probably can't make it all the way there.
Then what I will do is, how far away is she then? Like, is it like shotgun range or rifle range?
She's probably rifle range. But if you're going to get up and take your rifle out, you're probably not going to be able to fire this round.
So I'm just going to sprint then. I'll just try to cross the distance, and I will keep the rods out and crossed as I run across the terrain to try to get back to where she's standing.
Okay, sounds good. Miss O'Shea, 65.
I'm obviously going to get up and I'm going to leap at her to try and slash her.
Okay. You are far closer.
Mhm.
You're at advantage. Opponent's blind.
Well, the first roll was a 38 out of 55. Second one is a 28 out of 55.
Okay, so that's a success.
Yeah, because 27 is a hard.
And I'm going to have her dodge, but yeah, that's an 80, so no.
That's another 6.
Okay. So you get to your feet and you leap at her. And you land close into this crater impact area and then slash up at her. And she doesn't see it coming because she's incapable of seeing it coming at this point. And it looks like even she's a little woozy as she's trying to stand her ground. Your blade slips between her ribs. And when you push it all the way through, you feel something inside the core of her body shake. And she collapses onto the ground.
Okay, then I'm going to wipe my blade on my robes, put it away, turn to Lillian, and see if I can pick her up.
Yeah, well, we'll get to all that.
I'm just telling you my intent.
I get you. We'll get to all that. Jack, whatever just happened over there is terrible, but it looks like the priestess dropped, at least from where you can see on the ground.
Oh, good. I am going to run to the next pillar because I got to keep this something between me and him.
Sure. Okay, so you're running, and running and running.
Mm-hmm.
So are you going, remember, because the pillars go across so you're going to the center pillar now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you keep on running. It will get its action on 50 when it does eventually act. On 55, Doctor, your patient, or your target, is evaporating into a dark mist. You see the body releasing the spirit. The spirit is corrupt.
I don't think so. That is not what we need to study these things. And much like the memories that I took from Sam, that dark mist will go into a bottle.
Ooh, I like that idea.
And I will be keeping that.
So make a power roll with me.
Okay. That was an 82, but a 22 under 65, so that is a hard success.
Okay. I'll say that the doctor bottles something of what is left. I'm sure nothing terrible will happen.
No.
That being said, 50, we get there. Okay. So this creature comes after you, Jack. And it is going to attempt to tentacle grab you.
I've seen this video.
You have.
Okay, that's 42 under 89.
I have succeeded with a hard success as well. And so if you have a hard success and I do as well, then we have the same meter of success, which means the defender survives the attack.
Huzzah.
Which is good. It's still going to irate. Can do that.
Of course it is.
Bad. Oh, that's a 70 on the irate. It misses. You see the creature squirt that same sort of fluid out. And the stuff that is always, at least the last time you've seen it, the stuff that's dangerous about the irate is it's fluid, and then after it gets about a meter or two from the creature, it ignites into combustible material. And so over your shoulder, there's like a spray of combustible material. And there is a definite like juicing sound when it happens.
Yum.
Lillian is passed out
I am.
for the moment. For the moment, she is unconscious. So at the top of that round, we would skip her. But before we get to that, Sam, you were sprinting towards this space to deal with the priestess, but it looks like Maeve has cut her down. The only other foe on the battlefield is an enormous, monstrous creature chasing Jack.
Okay.
But Jack yelled for us to GTFO.
Well, that's the way out, though, isn't it? We have to go back that way anyway.
You do.
Yeah, we have to run past it.
So I will take a hard left and just not stop my movement. And I will, if this thing's chasing Jack, its back is to us. So I'm going to chase after its legs.
Okay. You're closer to it. Really, it's just a change in direction for you.
Okay.
And so you alter the flow of your direction, and it's at the middle pillar. That's the deepest of the two sets in, so it's not far from you terribly.
I know this thing's pretty big, and can I make out body parts?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay.
Totally. It's humanoid, at least a little bit in nature. It is large, so it's size 220. So it is, the size of a large dump truck that walks around. It has an eye stalk and a red tongue that rattles around inside of it. And then it has, big, lobster or crab like appendages on the top, and then it's got big meaty legs that sort of end in hooves.
I'm gonna try to help Jack maneuver a bit, and I'm gonna go for this thing's hamstrings.
Okay.
So I'm going to swipe at its knees, but from whatever the giant butt side of this thing is.
Sure.
If I attack twice, it's a disadvantage on both, right?
Yep.
Okay. I would like to do so, though. Swipe. Disadvantage, that is a 80 out of 88 for the first one for 6 damage.
Okay.
And the second one, 25, 35. Okay, so 35 out of 88, which would be a hard success. I will spend the 8 luck to make that an extreme.
Okay. I mean, there's no functional bonus for it other than to say it's an extreme. It is not going to dodge your first attack because it doesn't really see it coming. It's very focused on Jack.
Mm-hmm.
But after you hit it for the first 6 damage, it is going to fight back on the second attack.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'll push to an extreme. That's fine.
Okay.
I really don't want to get licked by this thing.
You get swung on, and you have to duck. And when you duck, it sounds like a car passed overhead.
Oh yeah, we've been hearing this thing slam itself around all over the place.
Yep.
I will. Yeah, my plan basically is to try to hamstring it up, and then I'm going to follow Jack.
What's the second damage then?
9.
Okay. So that was Alex's action on 75, and so that means that Miss O'Shea is next.
So am I able to pick up Lillian?
Yeah, I mean, she's like a 100-pound soaking wet with some quarters in her pocket.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna pick her up and throw her over my shoulder and start running.
Okay, you start running. It will take you several rounds to get out of this place.
Yeah, my plan is to go wide either direction.
Oh yeah, no, you're going to go wide left because they're over towards the center,
right.
And you don't want to be anywhere near that thing.
I sure don't.
Okay. Because we're not in our nature of skipping people, we want to make sure Mr. Drummond gets his action.
I get up, collect my bearings, see that the chamber is doing awful, unnatural things.
Yes.
Okay, so in relation to me, I'm on the dais. Where we have to go is back at the other side of the chamber.
Yes, sir.
Jack is off to the side, but he's about halfway to the exit.
Jack is more in the middle, and he's about 30 or 40 feet from your position on the dais, and he's playing peekaboo with an enormous spawn of Nyarlathotep. And Sam is helping out, playing pin the tail on the donkey.
It's all fun and games.
I'm just saying at combat phase 50, I get 5 attacks if I want.
Mm-hmm.
I see Mavis helping Lillian.
Yep, she's picking Lillian up and hustling out.
I will help them hustle out.
Okay, you help them hustle out. Go ahead and give me a spot hidden roll, Robert.
That's a 40 out of 65.
Not too far from you over there is Dr. Tottenbach's body. It's leaning up against one of the columns to the far right.
I will sling him like a sack of potatoes if I'm given the opportunity.
You are, but you have to make a choice. On the left-hand side, Maeve and Lillian are heading out of the chamber, right? On the right-hand side is where the doctor's body is. In the middle is where the big, nasty creature is. So you have to make a decision to go that route to get the doctor.
I will go that route.
Okay. You head that way. Alrighty. And then Jack on 60.
I got to keep this guy busy still. I'm going to shoot 3 times.
Okay. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I know. 69 under
Nice.
99.
Noise.
60 under 99. 25 under 99.
Okay. So you have 3 shots.
99.
Yeah.
Jeez.
8, 5, and 4.
So you stand your ground and you fire shot after shot into this thing's body. And you realize from that initial strike that you'd had on it, you did so much damage to the eye, that this thing is really starting to feel the effects of all of the sort of romper room attacks that it's made on the stone and that sort of thing. It is not, it hasn't slowed by any means, but it's definitely bleeding all over the place now. So that was 60. And now we'll come to the doctor who's at 55.
Do I feel my body being moved and jostled?
No, he hasn't
from the
gotten there
green
yet.
one? Okay. Well, the surgeon steps back from the smoky husk that is quickly turning to ash on the floor and looks up, I'm sure, at the large swirling,
Oh, yeah.
incredibly large thing in front of him.
I would just say for your edification, surgeon,
Mm.
the creature that is here, this swirl,
Mhm.
is a larger abomination than the previous patient was. This is, in fact, part of the source of the problem.
Well, in order to properly heal this remedy, we have to attack this infection at the root. Well, I think I found the root. Is there a center, it seemed like a nucleus of this thing?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Doc is going to say he'll invest 2 MP. It's not a lot, but he wants to put a wound right. He wants to put a surgical cut right in it, slicing through the caul, if you will,
Sure.
lancing the boil.
Right ahead.
Is it a power roll?
Yes, it is a power roll.
Okay, that is a 1.
Oh, take 5 points of luck.
I sure will, sir.
So, normally, you would not be able to affect this creature. But on a 1, you will be able to, because its POW is 250.
Yipes.
Then I meet it eye to eye. The surgeon can fly here currently, and he meets this abomination maw to maw. As the surgeon doesn't feel fear, it feels a logical detachment, and proceeds to begin dissecting this thing's eyeball from the other side.
Sure. So you're going to spend, what, 2 MP?
2 MP right now.
Okay.
Yes. It's the only thing he can spend without discorporating himself.
Yep. Okay. So the creature survives to get its attacks on 50. I am going to swing at you first, Sam,
Okay,
because you're sort of a pest
it's true.
as far as it's concerned. So that is a 12.
I would like to try to dodge if I may.
Oh, you certainly are able to dodge, but the first thing that has to happen is I'm going to roll its build dice, and I'm going to see if I can roll 0 to make it a 2. Nope. So it's a 12.
Okay, I got a 6 out of 85.
Okay, 6 out of 85 is one extreme for you. So you dodge the first attack. Now let's see if you can dodge the next one.
While this is happening, well, yeah, what's the plan, Jack?
Run, dummy!
Fuck, that's a 4. Ugh. Those dice are rolling exceptionally tonight.
That's why I tried to take that one from you.
So do I get to do it again, but with disadvantage? Is that how this goes along?
You absolutely get to dodge again, but with disadvantage. And the next part is if it attacks again, you'll have 2 disadvantage dice.
Well, that's a 65 under 88. So, or yeah, 65 under 85.
Okay, 65 out of 85.
It's just a success.
Okay. It is just a success. Okay. Let me get some more dice out here. You know how it is.
Shenanigans.
Okay. How many hit points you got, sir?
I want to talk about it.
I think that's totally fair. Okay. So take 18.
Jesus. Well, I guess I will spend 20 luck
Mm-hmm.
to get myself what is it, 1d6?
1d6. Well, that's a good roll. 4.
All right. I'm at 4 HP. No, I'm at 3, sorry. I'm at 3
You're
HP.
at 3 HP. Okay.
And I guess I get sent flying?
You
Where's
get
it?
punched by a big fat crab claw.
I will yelp in pain and surprise.
It's going to tentacle grab you, Sam.
Okay.
This is an attack you can dodge
At
You-
2 disadvantage.
with 2 disadvantage dice.
It's going to grab me?
The big tentacle that comes up out of the sort of neck meats
Mhm.
of this creature is very long. It's a crimson tentacle.
Can I opt to fight back instead?
100% you can opt to fight back.
I would like to do that. That's an 11
Ooh, good. So an 11 is
out of 80.
yeah, it's an extreme.
88.
Okay. Yeah. It only has a hard success. So you'll beat it on successes.
That is 8 plus 7. So 15.
Ooh. Okay. I took 3 attacks on you, Sam?
Yeah. Do you mind, sir?
No. No, not at all.
No, because Jack only has 1 hit point.
No.
He's got 3 hit points, so it's not much better.
I swing on you, Jack, but I miss.
No.
I think that's the first straight miss from those dice tonight. So yeah, this thing goes whole hog, and it tries to completely annihilate the 2 of you. And I still get 1 more attack.
Mhm.
I think we'll let fate decide who it is. So
Yeah, bring it.
Jack, you're 1, 2, and 3, and then Sam will be 4, 5, and 6. That's a 1. Coming after you, Jack.
Coming right for me.
That's right. 19. What do you
That's
got?
a 1.
Are you serious?
Nice.
Yeah. Totes.
Okay, so take your 5 points of luck and take your dodge.
Hey, that gives me over 30 now.
Oh, good. But remember, we're in the end game, so there's no.
It's the end game.
If you have to spend your 30 luck here, you're done. Okay, that's initiative phase 50. It takes all 5 attacks and nearly kills the 2 of you.
Jesus.
I guess because Lillian has passed out, Mr. Drummond, you collect the doctor's body. You feel yourself, surgeon, get picked up, physically get picked up.
The surgeon relents because there's only 2 things that would pick him up, and one's not worth fighting back against, and the other one is people he knows. So
Sure. Okay. There's not much you can do about it.
really,
And Mr. Drummond, you begin to hightail it out.
Yep.
At this point, it's going to be Sam's action on 75.
I would like to follow Jack's advice and begin running.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a spell that I cast instantaneously that I would like to
You can-
cast right now.
You can instantaneous cast and move.
I must be prepared at best. I mutter something about being in agonizing pain, and I've done what I came to do. I just want to live to see another day. And I will spend 4 magic points
Okay.
to heal 1d6 health and 1d6 sanity.
Oh, okay. So health is 4 points. Sanity is 3 points. You give yourself a bit of balm.
I take a deep breath and I pick up my pace.
Okay. You pick up your pace. So that's going to end up falling to Miss O'Shea. If you're going to continue to run, which I assume that you will, you'll reach the middle sort of chopping block area of this room where they were sacrificing people. But by this point, there are all of the other cultists that were here. You see that they're husks on the ground, as if whatever went on here perhaps when the spawn arrived, they were consumed. Their life essence was consumed. You continue to move. You think that if you can keep it up and keep breathing, you'll be able to get you and Lillian out of this space relatively soon. So that'll go to you, Jack, at 60.
I'm going to take my own advice and run,
Oh, okay. So here's what I'm going to have you do.
but I'm going to try to keep columns between me and it.
We're going to have to make opposed constitution rolls because what's going to happen is that because you're running from it now and you're running out, it's going to turn into a chase.
Yeah. I'm sure it's got a much higher constitution than I do.
Oh, I mean, it's con is there. It's a thing.
Well, that's 12 under 55.
Okay, so I have an extreme success.
I have extreme success.
Okay. Well, do you? 12 under 50.
No, I do not. But I will spend a luck point to make it extreme success.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you start hustling out. It bellows in rage and comes after you. The group runs. Well, in many different ways, but really all for the same direction. To get back to the bridge, to get back to the mountain, to get out of this realm, whatever you've gone into. You keep running. Jack, it's going to catch up with you.
Right. Eventually.
Well, its movement rate is higher, so it can technically move further than you can in a round. But because it's moving, it's not going to get its full attack. It's only going to get one attack on you. And it's going to attempt with that Crimson Tentacle to grapple you.
19 under 89. 89. That's it.
Are you dodging?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to spend a Hand of Fate for you. And I'm going to allow you to dodge this attack.
Thank you, Patreon.
Thank you for saving him. He's got one little hit point.
What itty bitty little hip boy.
So at the top of the next round, as it comes to it, the investigators bowl out of this space with Maeve and Lillian leading the way, and then soon followed there by Mr. Drummond and the doctor's body. Jack brings up the rear, and just ahead of him a little bit is Sam. And so I'd like to know, before the creature takes its action on 50, is anyone doing anything before they hit the stairway? I know you're sleepy, Lillian.
Taking a nap.
I'm running to catch up with my other child because we have a task to finish.
You do. Okay, so you're forward focused. Very good. Mr. Drummond, are you doing anything other than just trying to flee?
I mean, I'm carrying a body. I really don't have any time to stop and drop and
Okay,
do anything and then pick him up and then keep running again.
that's
So
fair
I'm just
enough.
going to keep moving.
fair enough. Sam?
I will pace Jack to make sure that neither one of us gets left behind.
We need to keep this in here.
So, Jack, you're going to get an action before this thing does. I need you to make a choice. Either you're going to continue to run, or you can potentially try to trap this thing in here, or you could potentially try to finish it off.
I'm going to try to finish it off.
So this is before the stairs, right?
This is right before the stairs. So basically, Sam and Jack are the last two out, or will be the last two out based on their movement. That's why in initiative order, I asked you, Sam, and then I asked Jack.
Then what I'm going to do as Jack is lining up his shots is I'm going to position myself kind of like to the front and left of him, and I will do my best to ward off any attacks that come while he plants those shots wherever they need to go.
So you're not going to get 3 shots.
Okay, just one.
You're going to get 1.
Okay. Yeah, 21 is...
Okay. So max damage plus rolled damage.
so 12 plus 8. 20.
Okay. You turn at the last moment. You raise the 45 and you get one solid bead on this creature's neck, just below the eye. And you put a bullet right where it needs to be. And the eye pops like a watermelon in the summer. And it tumbles forward towards you. And the size of it will likely crush you and Sam. So, Sam, if you're in this position defending Jack, you're going to have a, we'll just say, unique opportunity to attempt to extricate yourself and Mr. Doyle out of this, well, wherever you are. but you're going to need to make me a jump roll to leap out of this space without being crushed. It's going to be a very difficult roll.
Rolling eye crush happening.
Yeah, well, the whole form is sort of tumbling forward, right? So imagine something that is as big as a garbage truck standing up on its end, rolling.
Yeah, then we have to clear it. So whoever we have to get, I'm going to try to get us there.
Okay. So make a jump roll. You are at, I'll say it's a hard jump roll. I won't put you at disadvantage just yet.
Where are my safe places to go? Do I have to clear the stairs?
Yeah, you're going to have to jump, not clear the stairs, because the stairs are actually fairly wide. Or I should say there's quite a distance of them. There's probably, you couldn't clear the stairs. What you're trying to clear is if this thing hits the wall, you don't want to be where you are.
I understand. Okay. Well, that's an 81. That is not a hard success. Out of 77, it's not even a success. So here's what I'm going to do, Mike.
If you'd like to push that roll.
I think I don't have a choice. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to probably scare the shit out of Jack, because I'm going to pause. I'm going to use momentum of it rolling. I'm going to jump off the ball.
Okay, I got you.
That's how I'm going to push this roll.
It sounds like a fantastic idea.
With a 3.
So Jack, you wait as Doom approaches, fast rolling, ready to pancake you. And Sam, at the absolute last moment, grabs you tight, as a lover would, and leaps into the air and sort of does a kick off of the creature as it slams into that opening in the portal, and you fly out into the space and eventually land very hard on the stairs. Now, the terrible person in me wants to roll damage, but I'm not going to, because I think that it should live in cinematic fashion. You fall onto the stairs and roll with Sam as this creature's body seals the portal, and bits of the cave that you can still see through the cracks begin to tumble and fall into those depths. And then there's silence. Except for Miss O'Shea's feet. Your servitor, your child, the last one you have left, stands waiting on the plateau, and it has moved into a position up high where it can look out across the entire valley. And it is sitting there in complete obedience, waiting for you. It's staring at you like as you make your way closer towards it.
Yeah, if I get near the entrance and I know, like, I can feel like where it's positioned, I'm going to yell, "Slam it into place!"
Okay. It turns, and you see it like a child judge the weight of the stone and the space therein, and then it moves just to the side and places it into the side of this cliff face. And there's almost this exhale that comes out of you, this deep reassurance that this is finally in place. If the ritual down below has continued, then perhaps there is a chance for this to be over. Doctor, you come too. And I say that specifically. You come too. As do you, Miss Lane.
Doc is very wet. Where are we going? What is going on right now?
I'm being carried by Maeve. Maeve, put me down.
Can't stop yet.
It's interesting you say that. After he places it, after the hybrid places it, he steps back down, and you begin to realize something. And that is the sky has just the tiniest sliver of light to it, as a new day slowly but yet inexorably begins to dawn on Kenya.
Well, then once we get to the plateau, I am gonna fall to my knees and be so thankful that we made it on time.
You all see this as you're collecting your cell. You see this sigil, this stonework placed into the side of the mountain. Every groove and line and pattern in it that's been chipped away and inscribed in by Miss O'Shea. Just for a moment, there is this sheen of gold that passes over it. And then one is left to wonder, did it work? It's hard to say. But for the moment, this portion of our story concludes. In the days and weeks to come, our investigators find a few things critically important. The villagers who came, those villagers who came to work the ritual, many of them did survive, but not all. And so Kwame did have to carry down several of his fellow tribesmen to be buried in a place of respect and honor for what they accomplished. And while the villagers do not invite you back to the village, Kwame does lead you carefully back when you're ready to Nairobi, where many things seemingly have changed. The investigators are going to get an opportunity to relax at this point, to think about what comes next. And before we conclude this recording, I want each of them to have an opportunity to enter into the record what they do with their lives in the soon hereafter. So in the next month or so, what do you believe your character would do? What would they focus on? Where would they go? What is their coda like? I'll, of course, start with you, Miss O'Shea, as your first chair.
Well, what Maeve would do is she is going to go back to Egypt. She's going to go back to the temple and reclaim it
Interesting. Okay.
in the name of the Father.
Certainly. You would find in that time there that your sister does not spend much time at the temple. She is involved very deeply in the Cairo political scene. She has become, in very short order, someone who is sort of a revolutionary in their political and social scenes. She's pressing that advantage in seeking to spread her and the Father's influence in different ways. You get a chance to find peace after many, many months of chaos. And you do have to come to grips with many things about yourself and about how you've changed. They're just not simple one or two scales anymore. But you are able to live in relative peace at the temple that was raised. You do have to work with Egyptian authorities in some sense to continue that peace, but that is clearly worked through your sister. Miss Lane, coming back to consciousness, finding yourself covered in all sorts of blood and other fluids has not been easy to deal with. Dealing with the mental state and the aftermath of the plateau is also not easy. But I would rather focus this time on what you believe Lillian would do after.
I would go back to the States. I would check in on my father.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I would throw myself into the Lane Foundation and getting that off and running. And of course, hoping Jack would join. But obviously that's up to him after this journey. But that would be my hope for the future is.
And just so that we're clear to the record and to the listeners here, what's the aim of the Lane Foundation exactly?
The aim of the Lane Foundation is to protect the world at large from artifacts or beings that might do harm to the inhabitants.
Interesting. I could see that being very fruitful in the future. So, Jack, how does this end for you?
Well, I'll return to the States, and after a quick visit back to Chicago to see my family, return to Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, where I will join Lillian in the Lane Foundation.
Okay. Robert, how does this end for you?
Well, I don't have a job to go back to in Shanghai,
That's true.
but I still have a job. And so after a bit of recuperation and perhaps going home to visit family for a brief bit and a visit to my brother's gravesite, I will contact Dr. Charles Pierce and tell him that I have to talk to him about what happened after I left Shanghai.
I'm sure that will be a very interesting conversation. So, Sam, I'd like to know what you're planning on doing.
The situation in Cairo is not unknown to me. There's, the whole presence of a dead queen spirit still wandering around in a vessel. So I think what I would do is I would go with Maeve back to Cairo, and then I would go to the Temple of Bast and determine whether or not there were concerns about how this particular follower of Yig was operating. And if they're, being exploitative or subjugating the populace or, being awful, I would either try to use my accord with Maeve to try to maintain some sort of balance here or act as a bulwark if I have to.
Yeah, I think Nerys would probably encourage you to be around. If nothing else, that if there are two people who actively are serving Yig, then Bast would look for balance. Bast is not a normally outwardly aggressive hunter unless she needs to be. And so, much like a cat, Nerys wants to watch and see what they do.
I do the same with me.
And your accord with Maeve likely would help.
Well, and I feel like Maeve knows exactly how I feel. If Nyctocris rears their head and starts, bringing in more black Pharaohites, we're going to have a problem. I would probably propose it to Maeve to fix, to save her people from Nyctocris if it comes to it. Not to, just threaten them. That seems awful. I would advise as I could, considering how, far or close to reality Maeve's hanging out at any given day. I wouldn't be unfriendly.
That's fair.
We have a lot to learn. So
It seems like an interesting place to leave it. Not adversarial, but two factions with different ideas that are now watching each other. Same as it ever was. Doc, I'd like to know what you do.
Well, Doc heads back to Chicago. First things first, he has to, transfers the title of the doctor's office to Lillian.
Okay. To Lillian or to Lily?
Or sorry, not Lillian. Lily. Sorry. To Lily. To Lily. As well as setting up, talking to Ramses about setting up a trust fund for Lily so that her medical bill or so her education is paid for. And then he probably finds a little, he probably finds a big old ramshackle house that's not too expensive somewhere in Philadelphia and aids Lillian and Jack with the Lane Foundation. He purchases possibly an old bank, especially when the economy starts to go in the crapper, because he's going to want a vault where to keep the most dangerous stuff. But first and foremost, he writes a book. He actually takes his journals and he begins writing them as a series of books, researching and developing means to help people who have brushed against the unknown and walked away not as healthy as they could have.
Certainly. So I think it's important to dial our lens in one more time. And while you're leaving Chicago, Lily has grown a lot since you've been gone. mentally especially. She's had to grow up, and she's had to take charge of this office. And so the young lady who was very helpful, but yet very demure, has become someone who is a take charge sort of person, who has become that doctor in training. And she gets a lot of stuff done. And you have a nice goodbye with her. She is happy to see you whole and back, but understands that life and times have changed.
There is one thing Doc does before he leaves Chicago. One other thing. It's not been horribly long since we left Chicago, right?
Not really. No, it's been a handful of months.
Handful of months. Fantastic. Then he gets the case file that he did not finish before he left Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
While this is fairly undoc-like, he turns it into the police and has the man arrested for physical violence against his wife because he's not a doctor anymore.
That's true.
And now he's just a concerned citizen.
That's right.
And then he goes to Philadelphia.
Upon leaving for Philadelphia, you do see that there is a single young lad who is sort of helping Lily with all of the different things around here, right? He can't be more than 10 or 11 years old. But he seems like a good kid. He helps get supplies in and out, and he's cordial. He sort of gets the newspaper and helps deliver a lot of the medicines to the infirm that can't come in and get them. He's exactly what she needs. She needs someone to train up herself, right?
Wonderful.
And he's jovial enough. He's affable. He comes and introduces himself to you, but as you're leaving, as you're getting in the cab, he extends a hand out to you and says, "It was nice to meet you, Doctor."
It's very nice to meet you.
You're Dr. Tottenbach. He points back towards the door that has your name on it.
I am, yeah. I am the Tottenbach in question, yeah.
Well, it's great to meet you. He shakes your hand.
It's good to meet you, lad. And what is your name?
Randall.
Randall
Flagg. So I thought I might offer our listeners a special look behind the scenes and give perhaps the players an idea here about what brought about this tale. So I claim no ownership over this or any really of the original storylines of Masks of Nyarlathotep. But if we look back into the past, we have a unique opportunity to understand what events brought about our tale. In 1916, a cult based in Kenya, Africa, dedicated an obscene ritual to the god of the bloody tongue. The cultists, led by a high priestess called Mwiru, gathered to summon their god in a ceremony that had been performed without success for countless years. This time, however, the result was different. The bloody tongue manifest in their midst, speaking of a great plan that would free humanity from its earthly shackles. Mwiru had been chosen to enact the living God's will. She would be the vessel through which the God's great plan would be enacted. By the will of the bloody tongue, known by others as Nyarlathotep, Mwiru was sent to New York City, her mind magically infused with secret knowledge of certain times and places. Her missions to recruit key individuals who could assist in the delivery of the great plan. Her beauty and magnetism opened the doors into New York's high society and entranced Roger Carlyle, a millionaire playboy whose life had amounted to little, whom Nyarlathotep had readied for his emissary's arrival through magically induced dreams. Captivated by Mwiru, Carlyle fell completely under her spell, and, thereby, opened his mind to the commands of Nyarlathotep. Like Carlyle, a man who believed his life to be a failure, Mwiru sought out others who fit the desires of her god, those who were superior in skills and social class, but flawed in character. For even Nyarlathotep is not so powerful that he can change human will. He must choose from among those who are susceptible to his gifts. Mwiru soon found the ideal candidates. Hypatia Masters, a socialite carrying the guilt of an abortion brought about through an illicit romance. Dr. Robert Huston, a man barely recovered from the scandalous suicide of a lover. And Sir Aubrey Penhew, a decadent Englishman consumed with the notion of becoming a pharaoh, whose lust only a god could satisfy. Encouraged by the whispers of Mwiru, Carlo brought this disparate group together and formed an archaeological expedition, all in accordance with the wishes of Nyarlathotep. Albeit unconsciously, Carlyle sowed the seeds of his possible redemption by bringing along Jack Brady, his longtime bodyguard and confidant. Despite the unnatural will of Nyarlathotep, Brady proved extraordinarily intractable to the outer god's dream commands, as well as immune to the wiles of Mwiru. For some reason, perhaps an old gift from his mother, Brady enjoyed a charmed and lucky life. Mwiru, Carlyle, Huston, Masters, and Brady arrived in London, England, and set about making plans and organizing their expedition to Egypt with the support of Sir Aubrey and his protege, Edward Gavigan. Zahar Shafiq, an associate of Gavigan's, briefed the expedition on Egyptian matters. With the arrangements in place, the Carlyle expedition headed for North Africa. Arriving in Egypt, the expedition unlocked secrets previously shielded from Nyarlathotep. Omar al-Shakti, an envious and powerful cultist in his own right, gave them aid, but not too much, and not without exacting payment and promises. Having broken the ward of the Red Pyramid, the expedition then encountered Nyarlathotep in his aspect of the Black Pharaoh. In this form, Nyarlathotep enabled the group to travel back into the time of dynastic Egypt, there to be tempted, seduced, and trained in preparation for the dark god's great plan. Nyarlathotep's display of power hooked the expedition principals, giving purpose to their broken lives. Now Hypatia Masters had a new child stirring within her. Sir Aubrey Penhew could finally become a pharaoh. Robert Huston would be the promised ruler of Earth and indulge himself without thought for others. And Roger Carlyle could find new purpose through his passion for his bride-to-be, Mwiru. Nyarlathotep intends to keep his sickly sweet promises, although they will, in time, become twisted. Hypatia shall have her child, but its foul growth and birth will destroy her. Sir Aubrey shall rule in ancient Egypt, but as the terror-ridden toady of an ominous black pharaoh. Huston will be lord over earth, but his reign will be short, as after the true god's return, humanity shall become extinct. Married, Carlyle will become Mwiru's abject toy. After growing tired of pulling him around on a leash, she shall throw him into the pit to be consumed by large, hungry rats. Such fates were still far in the future, and, as yet, unknown to the members of the Carlyle expedition. For them, the plan was set, and there was much work to do. They left Egypt and traveled to Nairobi. Quiet until now, Jack Brady's concern for Carlyle, fueled by his friend's nightmarish ravings and by Sir Aubrey's power over the young man, drove Brady to action. In the confusion of the expedition's departure into the Kenyan backcountry, Brady drugged Carlyle and secretly speared him to the coast. Carlyle alternated between normality and insanity as the two sailed to Durban. Using disguises, Brady hustled his charge and himself aboard a Perth-bound steamer, the first leg of the trip to Shanghai, where Brady had friends and resources. But Carlyle's health and sanity failed, leading Brady to place him in a Hong Kong sanitarium under the name Randolph Carter. Meanwhile, the expedition's bearers became sacrifices for the cult of the Bloody Tongue, while the expedition's principals went their separate ways, each driven by their desires and the need to fulfill Nyarlathotep's great plan, which of course, as you've all heard, has fallen a bit short this time. And that's where we'll call our episode to a close tonight. And so I want to thank everybody. All of our listeners, all of our supporters have been fantastic over the years. The Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign has been a foundational piece for this show and for so many others. Whether you started listening at episode 1 when we first came out and you dealt with our dining room experience all the way through our years of being separated under COVID to being back now in the studio full, I want to thank my players. The story did not happen without them. I want to thank all of our guest stars who starred over the many seasons. And I want to thank everybody who reached out and talked at length about how this show helped them. We've been with you every week for 4+ years. And the adventures and investigations don't stop here. So thank you again. And for one final time from this campaign, I say good night and always good luck.